Welcome to Simple Investing Secrets. In today's video, we're going to review billionaire Ray Dalio's top 11 stock and ETF picks. So before we start, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for weekly updates. Let's get started. Bridgewater Associates, which was started by Wall Street legend Ray Dalio, is one of the most watched hedge funds in the world. The firm's Form Adverb from October 10, 2022, shows that its total assets are $235.5 billion. This year has gone well for Dalio, with Bridgewater's flagship Pure Alpha 2 fund up 22% year to date, well ahead of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is down 7.7% as of November 2022. While Dalio may be on his way out, he has announced that he will step down as Bridgewater's leader, though he will remain an investor. The hedge fund still carries significant weight on Wall Street, and all eyes are on his every investment move. What's under the hood for Dalio and Bridgewater with their recent U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission Form 13F update? Let's take a look at Dalio's top 11 stock and ETF picks. Number 11. Procter & Gamble Company, ticker, PG. Bridgewater sold off 131,715 shares of the blue-chip consumer goods company in the third quarter. P&G, the owner of favorite household brands like Pampers, Tide, and Bounty, has seen its stock slide by 5.5% over the past 3 months and is down 11.2% on a year-to-date basis through November 2022. On October 20, 2022, P&G released its most recent quarterly results, beating expectations with core earnings per share of $1.57 and sales that increased by 1.3% to $20.6 billion, exceeding the analyst consensus of $20.3 billion. Consumer goods companies like Procter & Gamble make good defensive investments when the market is volatile and uncertain. Bridgewater currently owns 6.6 million shares of PG stock, valued at about $835 million. Number 10. Johnson & Johnson, ticker, J&J. In recent years, the global blue-chip company that makes pharmaceuticals and healthcare products has been one of Bridgewater's most important holdings. Dalio first started loading up on Johnson & Johnson during the initial U.S. COVID-19 outbreak in the first quarter of 2020. As the pandemic has abated and Americans are pulling back on COVID-19 vaccines, J&J's revenue growth has slowed as well. As of September 30, 2022, J&J saw a 1.9% increase in quarterly revenue year over year. J&J's plan to spin off its consumer business into a new public company by late 2023 was considered a bullish catalyst. That rosy expectation hasn't translated into a robust stock price, as J&J stock has risen a tepid 1.4% this year as of November 2022. At the moment, Bridgewater owns 4.7 million J&J shares worth $769.8 million. Comparatively, 4.3 million shares were traded in the second quarter. Number 9. PepsiCo Incorporated, ticker, PEP. Dalio rarely puts all of his eggs in one basket when it comes to PepsiCo and Coca-Cola Company, KO, two of the world's largest beverage and consumer food product companies. Similar to Coca-Cola, Pep's stock price has recently fallen. The stock has dropped 1.1% over the past 3 months, but it has recovered by 4.8% as of November 2022, which is a welcome development in an otherwise sluggish stock market. Pep has increased overall by 2.7% year to date as of November 2022. However, things might be improving. In its most recent quarter, PepsiCo's sales went up by 8.8%, and its net income was $2.7 billion. Approximately 4 million Pep shares, worth $656.5 million, are held by Bridgewater. Number 8. Coca-Cola Company, ticker, KO. Coca-Cola is another blue-chip stock that is a consumer staple and a great defensive play in a tough market. Coca-Cola recently reported an increase of 10% in net sales and a net income of $2.8 billion, both of which are better than Q2. In the most recent quarter, Coca-Cola reported 10% net revenue growth and $2.8 billion in net income, both upgrades over Q2. Coca-Cola has also been a top long-term holding of fellow billionaire and Berkshire Hathaway Incorporated CEO Warren Buffett, putting Dalio in good company. Bridgewater holds roughly 11.47 million shares of KO stock, worth about $642 million. Number 7. iShares Core MSCI Emerging Markets ETF, ticker, IEMG. Dalio slashed Bridgewater's stake in IEMG in the third quarter, selling 408,000 shares. This is another step in Bridgewater's trend of pulling out of some of its Chinese investments, which got stronger in the second quarter. Dalio had sold some of his larger Chinese market positions, dumping all of the shares of Chinese stocks Alibaba Group Holding, JD.com Incorporated, Bilibili Incorporated, and NetEase Incorporated. The exchange-traded fund, ETF, IEMG, which invests in emerging markets, only has about 25% of its assets in China. Currently, Bridgewater holds 14.9 million shares of the fund, down from 15.3 million in Q2, leaving Bridgewater's stake in IEMG at about $640 million, down from $751 million in the second quarter. Number 6. iShares Core S&P 500 ETF, ticker, IVV. The iShares Core S&P 500 ETF is a low turnover, decent dividend paying S&P fund that tracks the S&P 500. It's a lot like the SPDR S&P 500 ETF Trust, SPY, which is also a benchmark stock market index. This gives Dalio two large stock ETFs that give him more ways to invest in the S&P 500. Dalio was treading water with IVV in Q3, adding 61,000 shares, a 3% quarterly increase, after raising his stake by 51% in the second quarter. Bridgewater now owns 1.76 million shares of the IVV fund, worth about $631 million. Number 5. Costco Wholesale Corporation, ticker, COST. Dalio seemed to be rewarded by Costco in the first half of 2022 for his belief in the big box consumer market. Costco is a huge membership warehouse store. In the most recent quarter, Bridgewater cut some of its cost allocations because cost fell victim to the same weaker consumer sentiment that most retailers will face in 2022. This is even though cost stock has gone up 15.3% over the past month heading into the holiday season after going down 5.2% over the past 3 months. In May 2022, Costco reported fiscal third quarter same-store sales growth of 10.8%, however. Dalio sold 11,554 shares from Bridgewater's cost stake in the period that ended in September 2022. The firm now holds about 1.2 million shares of cost stock worth around $566.5 million. Number 4. Vanguard Emerging Markets Stock Index Fund, ticker, VWO. Another popular fund that invests in stocks from emerging markets is the Vanguard Emerging Markets Stock Index Fund, which is an ETF. Like IVV complements SPY in Bridgewater's portfolio, VWO is a way for Dalio to diversify his fund's bet on emerging market economies such as China, Taiwan, and Brazil. VWO is heavily exposed to geopolitical risks in East Asia. Chinese and Taiwanese stocks make up roughly 40% of the fund's holdings. Bridgewater continued its recent shedding of VWO in the third quarter, selling 667,600 of its shares, but the firm still holds 14.8 million shares worth $539 million. Number 3. Walmart Incorporated, ticker, WMT. Walmart has been strong while other retail giants have been struggling in recent months. Walmart is up 13.9% for the past month and up 6.6% over the past 3 months through November 2022, which indicates it will have staying power right through the holidays. Walmart typically performs well in hard times, as its low price, low discount mindset appeals to shoppers in both good and bad economies. Even though inflation is still a problem for people on Main Street, the company had a good third quarter profit and proposed a $20 billion buyback plan. For Dalio, WMT's resilience isn't a signal to buy. It's just the opposite, as Bridgewater sold 668,000 shares in the past quarter, leaving about 4 million shares with a share value of $523 million. Number 2. SPDR S&P 500 ETF Trust, ticker, SPY. Dalio sold off 380,000 shares of SPY in Q3, knocking the fund's percentage of holdings from 2.95% to 2.65%. Does this mean that Dalio is changing his prediction that the U.S. stock market will recover strongly despite high inflation and rising interest rates? Yes and no. Apple Incorporated, Microsoft Corporation, and Amazon.com Incorporated are among the top holdings of the S&P 500, which is weighted by market capitalization. Dalio likes these companies and wants to put a big chunk of Bridgewater's fund portfolio into them. But if necessary, Dalio will sell off SPY shares. In Q2, Bridgewater owned more than 1.8 million SPY ETF shares, but in Q3, it reduced that number to 1.5 million, valued at about $523 million. Number 1. CVS Health, ticker, CVS. Ray Dalio's hedge fund, Bridgewater Associates, made a relatively large bet on CVS Health stock in the second quarter. You're most likely familiar with this company's gigantic chain of retail pharmacies and health clinics. It's CVS' less visible business segments that have allowed it to more than triple its dividend payout over the past decade. In 2018, CVS Health acquired Aetna, a leading health benefits manager that collects insurance premiums from around 35 million members. The conglomerate also runs a pharmacy benefits management business that is the best in its field and has about 110 million members at the moment. Combining businesses that manage benefits with those that give out those benefits has led to unexpected profits. Since acquiring Aetna in 2018, CVS has been able to repay $22.5 billion worth of debt that it took on to buy Aetna. CVS Health stock offers a 2.4% dividend yield at the moment that could climb sharply in the years to come. Over the past 12 months, just 18% of the $15.9 billion in free cash flow generated by operations was needed to meet the company's dividend commitment. Investors seeking a steadily growing stream of passive income should follow Dalio's lead and add this stock to their portfolios. This concludes our video on billionaire Ray Dalio's 11 top stock and ETF picks. Which of these stocks would you like to add to your investment portfolio? Let us know in the comments below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for weekly updates on the best stocks to buy and cutting-edge investment strategies for building wealth. Thanks for watching and happy investing.